What's up, cats? Having spent every day of the previous month writing for a vocalist, I think I'm pretty qualified to speak on this matter. As an example, here's a very simple and easy vocal melody I wrote for her to sing. Yeah, most vocalists aren't going to be able to do this. While not giving them this falls within the realm of common sense, not every vocalist is going to be able to sing this effectively either. Unlike instruments, which have a commonly defined range, every vocalist's range is going to be different. So there's a ton of considerations there that I'll be covering in a future video. Instead, I'll be talking about how to arrange music for vocalists, as this is a much more relevant topic. The first question, like with anything regarding vocalists, is what key it's going to be in. If you're writing with a specific vocalist in mind, you can just ask them. Assuming they respond to you in a timely fashion, and don't decide they don't like that key mid-rehearsal, this should be pretty easy. If you're not writing for a specific vocalist, I would probably see what key other vocalists do the song in, and choose accordingly. Vocal charts are where you'll encounter less common key centers the most, as they don't really have to worry about that the same way instrumentalists do. And while not a strict requirement, most vocalists will appreciate it if you end your intro on the 5 of the first chord of the song, with extra points if the last note played is the first note the vocalist sings. Then, since it's a vocal chart, you'll want the ensemble to never play while the vocalist is singing. Actually, having the ensemble play while the vocalist is playing is very standard. As long as you write good backgrounds, the vocals will have no problem standing out, even if the band is written above the vocalist. The human voice has a very different timbre than anything else in the band, and because of that, stands out naturally. The exception is lower voices and trombones. These will actually clash a bit as they're pretty close in timbre, but otherwise, no issues. To write good backgrounds, you'll mainly want to use two techniques, these being riffs and counterpoint. This style largely ignores the melody, instead having sections play short melodic phrases, or riffs, and developing them as the melody continues, while this style is mainly based around responding to the vocalist. I like to think of these two approaches as being on a dial. You basically never want the dial to be all the way over here, as call and response is one of the slightly more important parts of jazz, and while over here can work, there's a lot of scenarios where it can be impractical. If you've hired the vocalist and can ask them, hey, can you sing this pretty straight? Or if you were hired by them and you know they sing that way, or if you program the voice yourself, then a lot more options for counterpoint become available. But if you are hired by the vocalist, you can't really be like, hey, I know you hired me to write this for you, but can you sing it more straight? Also, if you're just writing the chart without a certain vocalist in mind, it's probably best not to go as heavy on the counterpoint. So a lot of the time, the dial will probably be closer to the middle, and which side it leans towards should mostly be influenced by the vocalist you're writing for. If they interpret the melody more straight, I would lean more in this direction. If they do a lot more variations, or if you're not writing for any specific vocalist, I would lean more in this direction. You can still use some counterpoint here as they'll probably sing the big moments of the song pretty straight, and stick to riffing on the other sections of the chart. You can also use both at the same time. Riffs are great for when you want the band to play while the vocalist is singing, as these short phrases add to the texture without demanding too much attention, and then you can use counterpoint to fill in the gaps in the vocals. But if you use too much counterpoint with a vocalist who plays with the melody more, the counterpoint won't make as much sense. I'm now going to play a section where the vocalist sings the melody straight, and then sings in a way that makes the counterpoint pointless. So I guess it would just be counter? Just play the video. While the vocals slot nicely into the counterpoint if sung straight, if the vocals are interpreted in a different way, then the vocalist just sounds like they're on an island of their own, completely removed from the band. But if the band plays riffs that don't rely on the vocals to make sense, then this issue won't occur. But if the band exclusively plays riffs, then you've banished the vocalist to the island yourself. So somewhere near the middle tends to be the ideal range. The form also tends to be different in vocal charts as compared to standard big band literature. A lot of the time it tends to be like ballads, where not everything will get a full chorus. It's mainly based on the scenario. If you are asked to write the chart, you should probably keep it shorter and more focused on the vocalist. If you ask the vocalist to sing on the chart, or if it's not for any vocalist in particular, then you have more freedom. But otherwise, you'll usually want to keep the chart to strictly what it needs. A lot of the time, the form will be intro, full chorus of vocals, and then after that is when you can put some development, either through a solo or a shout section. Some arrangements will even combine these, giving the soloist a 4-bar send-off and then repeating this again. If you want your vocalist to do a scat solo, it is imperative that you ask them if they can do this beforehand. Not every jazz vocalist can do this. Even some of the greatest jazz vocalists of all time didn't solo. In these scenarios, or in any scenario where you're working with someone and they're unsure about something, it's always best to ask. If they can solo, this does open the amount of possibilities, but at the same time, you'll want to give them a bit of a break. Not only does this make sense orchestrationally, as it gives the audience a bit of a break from the same texture that they've been hearing for the entire song, but it's also good for the vocalist. Vocals are a lot like brass instruments in that they can get tired if they go the entire song without any breaks at all, so giving them a break is usually a good idea, especially if they have multiple songs in the set. Also, for the melody out, a lot of the time they won't do the entire song again, especially if it has only one chorus worth of lyrics. The listener has already heard this part before, and it just tends to drag on. So a lot of the time the vocals will just do the last half chorus. If it's a shorter chart, a common form is melody, half chorus of shout or solo, half chorus of melody out, while a common form for a longer chart might be melody, solo, half chorus of shout, half chorus of melody out. These of course are not the only options, but are some of the most common. Another technique for effective arrangements is wood painting. While this is more of a compositional technique, it has its place in arranging as well. I use this most frequently by using effects the band can do. For example, here's a bit of my arrangement of Let It Snow.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear is still blind.
Beyond these minute details, it's also good to consider the narrative of the chart. For example, if you're playing Every Day I Have the Blues, when your vocalist goes Nobody Loves Me, you probably shouldn't have the band respond with, It's important to understand the story the lyrics are telling, and how your arrangement can fit into that. Overall, don't use this side, be careful using this side, the vocalist shouldn't need to sing the entire melody twice, might not be able to solo, and maybe don't respond to
just friends, lovers no more.
with